Hey Chiefs Kingdom, Harrison Graham here from the Chiefs Report. Wanted you guys to watch this video. My guys Tom Downey, Mitchell Renz filling in on today's show, getting you guys caught up on the latest Chiefs news and rumors ahead of this weekend's playoff game between the Chiefs and the Browns. The latest on Eric Bieniemy. Could Mike Kafka be a head coaching candidate? And Kareem Hunt is talking ahead of this weekend's matchup. That's all coming up right now on the Chiefs Report.
All right, let's get into the latest around the Kansas City Chiefs here. Eric Bieniemy, in my opinion, the top coordinator out there. Every single team should be at least interested in going out and getting this guy. So what's the latest on Bieniemy? What's the latest on the Chiefs?
So there have been conflicting reports on how well Bieniemy actually interviewed with the Atlanta Falcons. There was an initial report saying I think the exact word was bombed the interview, which I think pissed off the Falcons because you don't want that associated with you. And then there was another report that, oh, no, he did a fantastic job interviewing. So, which side that came out of, who will end up knowing in the end. Soon. There were reports previously, entering this latest coaching carousel, that Bieniemy hadn't interviewed well.
Yep.
And there are potential lot of different underlying factors as to why that was the case, but that had been a common theme. And there was also reports, and frankly outright knowledge, look, Bieniemy had some previous off-the-field mishaps way back when he was a member of the Colorado Buffaloes college team, not organization. So that's kind of the underlying stuff there. But look, my mindset is this: I don't think there are 5 better candidates. Now, in general, and I want to make this point right now, the Jags, the Chargers, Falcons, Jets, and Lions, all teams Bieniemy has or will interview with, we weren't a part of those interviews, which is one of the most important parts of this process. How do you get along with the owner? What are your answers to key questions? All that type of stuff. Maybe Bieniemy hasn't answered that well. And I think that's what actually makes finding a head coach tricky.
Sure.
Is that there's 2 paths, right? Former head coach, at least as it relates to NFL and not college guys, or inexperienced guys.
Okay.
Both those guys have red flags. One's that never been a head coach before. If you were a head coach, you probably got fired. So at that point, it's very difficult to actually determine who's a good candidate because unlike playing quarterback, we don't have that many data points to be like, yeah, he does this really, really well. How do you manage personalities? How do you juggle all the different assistant stuff?
Yeah.
That is something you try to answer through the interview process. Now, seeing who's been hired in recent years and who's getting interviewed, it should clearly be Eric Bieniemy somewhere.
Well, that's what I mean.
But we'll see.
I'm looking at all these lists right here. I mean, we've done a replacement video. As soon as a team fires their head coach, what we do at Chat Sports is we make a replacement video. Eric Bieniemy has been top 3 in every single video that we do, and I am a believer that if he wants a job, he should end up getting it. And the issue here is if he's not interviewing well, maybe that is actually impacting him, but I can see with my eyes, Tom, he is a damn good coach, and I would love him to be a coach on a lot of teams.
It genuinely does not make any sense whatsoever that, especially I'm going to call it the Houston Texans again here. You're not going to interview Eric Bieniemy, yet you're going to interview 65-year-old David Culley, who's never been a head coach and has, A, never been a play caller in the NFL, and B, never been a play caller even at the college level since the first Bush just began his presidency. Like, come on. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So Bieniemy should absolutely get hired by somebody.
Absolutely. So go ahead, get in the comments, let us know. Here at Chat Sports, we are an interactive YouTube channel, and we want you guys to get active here. Who will hire Eric Bieniemy? Which team is going to do it? Is it going to be the Jags? Could it be the Jets? Could it be the Atlanta Falcons? Could it be the LA Chargers? I'm trying to think of the other teams here.
Jets. You got the Lions in there.
Lions.
You can go with the Falcons, Jags as well.
I mean,
and the Texans would make perfect sense, but they don't want to interview.
The Texans
and the Eagles now.
Texans would have been my pick, but for some reason, I just don't understand. Let us know down there in the comments. Should Rock's going to go with the Eagles? Andrew's going to say the Falcons, and then Bam Troll says the LA Chargers. That's not going to be the only coach we talk about here from the Kansas City Chiefs. Mike Kafka. There's been a rumor since Doug Pederson has been fired from Philly that this actually could be a candidate to take the new job.
A former Eagles player, by the way.
Okay.
Potentially hot take coming across. Andy Reid will tell Eric Bieniemy to not take the Eagles job.
Kafka.
No, Bieniemy.
Okay.
Which means Kafka, though, as a lesser option on that coaching tree, might be more inclined to take because it's a bigger leap and he gets the opportunity earlier. So Bieniemy might not be a fit for Philadelphia because I think Reid's going to tell him don't do it.
Yeah.
But Kafka could actually make some sense there. So I am very curious to see how this ends up going down. I will make this point. If Kafka gets hired before Eric Bieniemy does as a head coach,
wild.
There's something wrong, man. Like that is not how it is supposed to work. And I get it. Zach Taylor got hired quickly too. And I get Kafka was a former NFL quarterback and he's well regarded. I get all of that.
Sure.
But knowing what we're able to know about the process, which is not the interview side of it, you can't tell me that the guy below the boss is better than the actual boss for a promotion. That doesn't make sense to me.
So I love Andy Reid. I think he's one of the best offensive minds in football. I think he's one of the best head coaches in football. Now, he was given this special toy that we're going to call Patrick Mahomes. Am I the only one, though, that is a little bit concerned that we're giving Eric Bieniemy a lot of hype? I already said I love him, so let's get that out of the way. And then also Mike Kafka a lot of hype because they've done a great job with Patrick Mahomes. It reminds me a lot of when we talk about Phil Jackson being the greatest NBA coach of all time, and he's got Kobe and MJ.
You're right, and I understand where you're coming from. At some level, the coordinators in particular, their success is always tied to the players.
Absolutely.
There is no magical scheme, but the players seem to like Bieniemy.
Yep.
It's working, so yes, you might run the risk of what's called the Peter principle. You get promoted until you're at a position where you're bad. Maybe that's the case, but that's the guy you gamble on, you know?
Sure. Okay. So who's got the better chance to be a head coach? Type EB for Eric Bieniemy. Type MK for Mike Kafka. You're probably tempted to type MK if you don't know. That's his wife's initials, but I'm going to go EB.
It's EB.
It's Eric Bieniemy. I think everyone out there is also going to agree that it is EB. Let's go now to Kareem Hunt, and I'll tell you what, this is the playoffs. I understand that they're the underdog, but I like this stuff. This is the stuff that gets me up on a Monday morning when I see players trashing their old team right before an NFL playoff game. Let's go.
No bulletin board material allowed. Come on, guys. We should know better than this. Now, Kareem
Especially
Hunt,
the Browns after Juju.
Kareem Hunt called this matchup personal. And I look, for him, it is, right? Cut by the Chiefs back in 2018 after the video of him kicking that woman was released. Also, don't kick people. I don't know how hard that is to do, apparently. Apparently it's a little bit harder than I think it is.
Yep.
Don't kick people. Like, I thought we learned that when we were kids. No pinching, no kicking. Like, come on, it's not that hard, right? So I get Hunt's going to motivate himself that way. Don't say that. Don't. What are you doing? Because you're the underdog this week.
Not only are you the underdog, you're going up against the defending Super Bowl champs, who the team that's probably been the best team in the NFL the entire season and have had a few hiccup games here or there, but they're ready to lay it on you and they're ready to kick you down while you're down. That's what the Kansas City Chiefs can do. So you got the Cleveland Browns, who had a phenomenal game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Chiefs now, they had a week to prepare, and it's like 5 games under Andy Reid coming off a bye with Patrick. I mean, the numbers, Tom, they're averaging over 35 points per game.
The lowest was 31, I believe.
It's wild. So who you got? Type B for the Cleveland Browns or type C for the Kansas City Chiefs. If we got any people out there that love the Chiefs, go ahead and subscribe to our Chiefs channel. You can see the link below. It's in red, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. I know you're from Ohio.
Yes. My mother-in-law is a huge Browns fan. And she was very excited
by
the outcome.
Once in a while cheers for the Browns.
Yeah, lifelong Browns fan.
Lifelong Browns fan.
This is the Chiefs win.
You're going to go Chiefs?
And look, I'm very shout out Cleveland. Congratulations winning that. I know how much that means to you guys. You drew a pretty tough draw with the Chiefs coming off the bye. I'm going to type in my C, and frankly, I think even the Chiefs have kind of dinked around a couple times and let teams hang around. I think this might be a fired up game in which they actually cover the spread.